So definitely feels like Halloween is the vibe for Black Clover's manga right now. Chapter 223, we got introduced to the Addams family, or that's at the very least what it felt like with the introduction to Gordon's family. Very creepy vibe, a lot of mysteries to talk about regarding curses, who's affected. We got a confirmation, which we talked about in the last one. If you watched my last video, then you know we talked about that. So insane things, huge revelation for where the story is going. We were initially told, or at the very least led to believe, we'd be going one place, but this chapter opened up a brand new door to we're going somewhere else with it, baby, and just all around insanity with Black Clover 223. I guess without further ado, let's jump into it, baby.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like.
So this chapter, honestly, it was a mixed bag in terms of, like, we had some really awkward comedy, and I like the fact that it was taking these characters that they're really awkward, they're very, and awkward is an understatement, they're strange, they're weird, they're the Addams family, because the chapter opens up with Yami sending Gordon out on a mission. He's like, yo, I heard, which I don't think that was talked about in the chapter where Yami was sitting down with Charlotte, but that Gordon's family dabbles a lot in the school of curses. You know, they teach curses, they know about curses, so he's like, perfect timing. We got this thing going on with Asta, fam. Like, make your moves. But you just gotta love how Yami just shits on it. It's like, yeah, you know, Asta, you can go. Gray, go ahead. Yeah, take that journey. But I ain't going, dog. Like, you crazy. Classic Yami. That's one of the things that's the little extra pieces of Black Clover that I love. Like, don't get me wrong, the mysteries and everything that goes down with the plot twists and all the foreshadowing is great and all, but just the life that you get out of some of these characters and their personalities. Like, again, Yami, I'll keep saying it. He's like a shonen main protagonist, went on his journey. I ain't having it. If I gotta step in, then so be it, but you do you, fam. I'ma kick back. But definitely, of course, the somber and very bizarre Gordon says, hey, I got nothing left to lose. But it seems as though this arc has been slowly expanding on the characters, on the cast, getting more into even the characters again, like Gordon that hasn't had shine, more backstory into what was it, a chapter ago with Noelle's mom and devils and this curse magicular. A lot of interesting things have been coming into what was initially promised to just be, romance comedy arc. But this has been exciting. And also it shows just a lot of why Gordon is so freaking weird, because again, his family delved in curses and things of that nature, and that's why he could never make friends, because who wants to be friends with a dude whose family is cursing other people? It's like, I think I'll pass on that, dog. But despite that, it seems as though Gordon kind of ran away from his home, which it kind of seemed par for the course with a lot of characters, how they kind of found a more warm or welcoming family in a way. Obviously the Black Bulls is, you know, a little wild gang, but he couldn't ever make friends because of, you know, what was going on. And also, he never even found out how to dispel ancient curses. So it seems as though while Gordon is a weirdo and he has his own, poison magic, I think that's what he dives into, but he still doesn't really know a lot of his family's secrets, which is great because, again, this chapter and this arc is opening up a lot of opportunities. And before we continue any further, I just want to say, I don't trust this family. I ain't gonna lie. I do not trust Gordon's family, and maybe I might be a little bit paranoid about it, but I just feel as though we've seen in the past, like look at what happened with Vanessa's family. So who's to say that Gordon's pops wasn't lying throughout the chapter? Who's to say that his family ain't on some other stuff? Just wanted to throw that thought out there, so while you're hearing me talk, you could keep thinking like, maybe there's more to it. But as we continue, we get to Gordon's creepy household, and yeah, it just totally feels like this is appropriate for the month. We're in October. Tamatsu's like, you know what? It's Halloween. Let me put these creeps in my manga. Why not? And they show up opening the door, and it's the Addams family. I know I said that before, but they just straight up were like the Addams family. Their faces, all of them are almost identical to Gordon's face. They all have this similar look. And immediately you got to think, okay, hold up, because there's a lot of things said in this chapter, but you got to remember, these people dive in curses and stuff like that, so there's a huge possibility that there's a very, very bad curse that is affecting this family, because if the father has the face, the mother has the face, the sister has the face, the grandmother has the face, even the damn dog got Gordon's face, which, again, that means that there's something off with these people. There's a curse probably afflicting them. Obviously, you look at Gordon, he's weird. They're all freaking weird, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Similar to what we was talking about last week, which of course we'll delve into more with Henry and kind of what's going on with him. This looks like there's some reasoning behind why Gordon is a weirdo besides just his upbringing with these weirdos. Because I believe it was Ghost that even mentions, like, what's going on? Even people that are married into this family have that look. And again, even the dog. So it's like, it must be potentially something to do with the family name or just being accepted into this family that curses them and gives them those black rings around their eyes. And you know how Gordon is seemingly based off Marilyn Manson's look, which I think that's kind of cool, you know, Tabata. Like, there's a lot of little gems in here, like when they hand that, it looked like the Baylet from Berserk, because you can see clear as day, like Asta's sword and everything. Tabata loves Berserk. I love that. I love that Tabata loves Berserk. I love Berserk, baby. Let's go. Also, quick note, another funny moment. The dog bit Austin. I'm wondering if there was, again, like, it could just be that these are things that are potential. It could just be maybe I'm looking too deep into it. But, like, between Asta getting bit by the dog, which that was just more than likely comedy or whatever. But then what happened with the father later on, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Like, I can't immediately say, because if Gordon don't really even know his own family, and again, that could be due to the curse that they're not even allowed to really have a good communication amongst each other, but who's to say that they're really on the up and up? You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why people haven't messed with them all these years and why Gordon was an outcast. Like, they're on some shit, you know what I'm saying? Also, notice how Nero stood in bird form the whole time. What was that about? Like, I mean, it could just be that it's funny or whatever, but she stood in bird form the whole time. Maybe she's just trying to get an extra observation, because they're not going to obviously be able to tell, hey, that's actually a human right there. But that did kind of made me question, like, hey, is it just for the sake of it? Or is it potentially that maybe Nero doesn't want to get recognized? We don't know. For all we know, these people could have a lot more knowledge, especially like the grandmother and stuff. Because the grandmother was one of the most pivotal points of this chapter. For starters, when she tells Ghost, oh, Nathan, I'm glad you're here. You know, we're expecting great things from you, which I don't know if maybe Ghost just resembles somebody or there's something there, because we know Ghost has had, you know, ties well with the elves, how, you know, it was seemingly like a reincarnation thing, but also he was part of a royal family. Like, there was a lot with Ghost and Mari, but also there was something else with it. Because she said again, you're going to do good for the family. And she says exactly, for the sake of our ancestors who fulfill the pact, as well for the curse of Magicular, which, bam, right there, because we already know, based on what was said from the previous chapters, that Magicular is somebody that has, you know, there's a curse that's been passed around via this guy. So if this Addams family people, they're all subjected to this curse, is it even possible for Gordon's pops to be like, oh, but I'm the first to put this down? You know what I'm saying? So maybe this family is a big piece of this. Who knows? Maybe they're the catalyst of a lot of these curses that are going around. Maybe they're the ones that are putting curses on people to begin with. Because if the grandmother said for the sake of Magicular, that means that they have been possibly delving into and dealing with this demon, and these are the results of what they've done, that they all look like this, and maybe they've been doing it to other people as well. Again, if the rumors are true, because this chapter just felt like it was taking us into a different direction to start feeling a different way about this family, but who's to say that we're not totally just being misguided? Because eventually Gordon's father agrees to teach him about curses and all that. He's just happy that my son has come back, which again, this arc is giving me reminiscent vibes of the Vanessa arc, how they, you know, it was like a good and a bad thing that she went back home. They wanted her, but then at the same time, because she left, it was like, you know, we gotta spank you in a way. And I feel as though there's some trickery going on with Gordon's family, because when the father did that curse move or that magic and said, oh, I'm just checking your temperature, yeah, I'm the first generation to heal people, I don't buy it. I wouldn't be surprised if he threw an actual curse on Asta, or felt that there was an actual curse on Asta and didn't say nothing. Again, maybe I'm just looking too much into it. Maybe there's more to it. Like, they know a lot. They've done a lot. The grandmother bringing up Magicular, I think that was foreshadowing for a lot of involvement with Gordon's family and that actual curse, demon, devil, whatever. Because even the father's workshop, it's like, so you're a doctor healing people, but you got what looks like blood and bones, and it just looks like a torture chamber down there, but you're a doctor. And Gordon was like, I was sure this whole time, but there's a lack of communication to that point where your own son thinks that you're just completely bad, but you're really not. It's too messy and I don't buy it. And then of course the father used a magic that is used for gathering curses to basically observe where are the curses all over the kingdom, and it seems as though there's quite a bit of curses. He said that Asta isn't cursed, he's just a regular boy without magic, right? He said like, oh, you know, there's nothing abnormal about him, but again, who's to say, you know, what's going on there. But also it just showed that, like they said, oh, over our base, Henry, bam, huge revelation, called it last chapter, a lot of us called it, that yo, it only makes sense, like he's afflicted by this illness type of deal, but it's actually a curse. Boom, so we got something there. If Henry would have came, who knows? Maybe Henry would know something, or Henry's family were connected again. Like, I think Gordon's family might play a big part in everything that's going on. Just based off the grandmother's quote alone and just the suspicious nature of everything, why Gordon actually left home to begin with. Like, so he left home because he was raised on a misunderstanding? And then he extends the reach of, you know, this search for who's cursed and the curses in the kingdom to outside parts, and it shows that there's a curse in the Heart Kingdom. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Nation of Heart was actually said to be a neutral nation, and we was led to believe like, okay, the demon Nation of Spades. So that's where I thought we was going to go with it, to be honest. Now, it could be that Gordon's father and Gordon's family are leading them astray, that they're actually going somewhere else, because the curse was actually a devil's curse in particular. So what's up with the Nation of Heart? Why would they even be neutral if they're actually doing these things? Or it could be that it's a good devil or a good demon of some sort that doesn't want to do anything, so that's why they're staying neutral, because it's always been, from what we heard, of course, the Diamond Kingdom is crazy, the Nation of Spade is the demon Nation of Spade, and then the neutral Nation of Heart. But this opens possibilities that, obviously it says there's a devil over there. Why is this devil deciding to play neutral with this whole place? What's going on? Does Gordon's family have any connections to it? Why did the grandmother say it's all for the sake of Magicular? I think there's a lot more here. But overall, the chapter, honestly, for getting an introduction to Gordon's family, getting a little more insight into Gordon's whole family, including the dog lookalike, definitely makes me believe Gordon and his family are cursed. I don't believe a lot of what was said in this chapter regarding Gordon's father saying, oh yeah, Asta's just a normal boy, the points on the map. The only thing I believe is, yeah, probably Henry does, without a shadow of a doubt, show that he got a curse, but also the thing of going to the Nation of Heart. Could it possibly be that they're trying to trick them to go to the Nation of Heart for a reason? Or could it be that there's just a neutral demon devil? Because you got to think about it. If Asta has this demon in his grimoire, right? There's a possibility that the demon over there could not necessarily be evil either. So there's so many possibilities right now, but definitely threw me for a loop. I thought it was going to say Nation of Spade, Nation of Heart. Either way, once we leave the kingdom, it's going to be an insane mission, because now we're going somewhere that's neutral, which could cause an entire war between the Clover Kingdom, because still he's going to be accompanied by the Black Bulls going over there. So how they're going to manage that is going to be friggin' insane. Honestly, this chapter, very mysterious. It felt as though it gave me 10 times more questions than it did answers, but nevertheless insightful, hilarious at the same time. Like, yo, I still can't believe Gray got a Baylet. Like, I think that that's going to play a part in everything as well. Kind of curious what you guys think about this, though. For starters, what was up with what Gordon's grandmother said to Ghost regarding, oh, Nathan, do good in this family for the sake of the curse and the sake of Magicular? Do you think that they're the ones that have been bringing in a lot of curses into this world? Maybe Gordon's family could be responsible for a lot of the messed up things that has happened to Henry, maybe Noelle's mother, possibly even Asta. And what do you think is up with the devil in the Heart Kingdom, the cursed devil in the Heart Kingdom? Do you think that this is, again, Gordon's father is leading them astray? Do you think Gordon's father was keeping it up and up that, yeah, no, I'm the first generation of healers, despite the fact that they have this family curse that has kept them all looking the same, acting the same, and now he's breaking away? If anything, Gordon would probably be the first one that actually is trying to break the curse, because he left, but even leaving his household, he still is afflicted with looking like this and acting like this. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of Black Clover from chapter 224 and beyond. Again, I'm left with so many questions, like, is Gordon's family responsible for all of this chaos, or what's up? But that's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links, of course, in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride. But I hope you know that